Hi guys, welcome to this video. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to use Ajax to submit a form in Django. Now the thing that is cool about this feature is that when you're submitting a form, you don't need to refresh that page or take those data to another page before the form can be submitted. Now let me show you what I mean. So now I have this basic form. This form is linked to this model. So I have a model named profiles. Now as you can see in this model, I have three objects. Let me refresh it so you can see I have three objects. Now once I come here and fill in the data and click on submit, the page isn't going to refresh. It's automatically going to take those data and submit it in the models. So let me come here and give it Tom and email tom@gmail.com, and then the bio, I am Tom, I am a guy. Now once I click on submit, you see it says user Tom created successfully, and this page didn't reload, it didn't take me to another page. And once I come back to my URL and click on refresh, you see that now I have a new object. If I click on it, it says tom@gmail.com, I am Tom, I am a guy. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do this. You can easily integrate this into any of your projects. You don't need to reload that page or take that page to another URL before you can submit a form. So let's go ahead and do this. So guys, for us to use Ajax to submit a form in Django, the first thing we need to do is to import jQuery. So I already have it imported right here. So this is the code. Let me show you guys how the code looks like. So this is it, script src, then this URL. Yeah, this is how the code looks like. You can also type on Google import jQuery and you just get this code. So after doing that, you can save your file. So let me show you guys everything which I already have set up. So right here in my models.py, I already created a model named profile and I've migrated it into my database, and I registered it in the admin interface, and I also created a super user, and then that's all I've done to this point. So what I just want to show you in this video is how to submit a form to a database using Django. So as I've said, this form isn't going to, when submitting this form, your page isn't going to refresh. It's automatically going to submit the form and give you a response like user created or something like that. So first of all, let me show you right here. This is the admin page. When I click on profiles, as you can see, it is empty. So I'm going to create a form right here. So once a user input a field and click on submit, it's not going to be refreshed. It's not going to take the user to any other page. Automatically those fields is going to be created as a new object right here. So let's do that. Now the first thing we need to do is to create our form. So let me do something like create form. So let's create a form. The only thing we need to give our form right here is an ID. So I like to give my ID post form. After that, we don't need to set the action or the type, the method. And another thing we need to do, we need to put CSRF token underscore token. Now what this CSRF token does is that whenever you are using a post method, you must add CSRF token so it can secure all the details, all the values which is being passed. So let's just leave that because we're going to use a post method. So let's give it an input type. Type should be name. No, it should be text actually. Then let's give it an ID of name, and let's give it a name of name. So I think we can close that. So after having this, let me check our models. We have name, email, and bio. So let's fill out those three. So let's give this email. email, and then right here, so I'm gonna put this, and let me say bio. So now that I have that, let me just add one more input for the submit button. So this is what it looks like. Let me put a BR. So now let's see what our form looks like. Okay, as you can see, it's just a basic form. So let me give it like a placeholder or something like this. P. Let me say name. So let me do the same for here. So email and bio. So now let's see that again. Okay, I think this is okay. We're not really particular about the design. I just want to show you how the functionality works. So since we have this, what we want to happen is I want the user click on something like this and clicks on submit. It shouldn't take that user to any page. As you can see, it's passing in some data values here. We don't want that. We just want it to click on submit and automatically do that. So for us to do this now, what we need to do is to right here, after the body, I'm going to specify a script, and this script, the type should be JavaScript, text or JavaScript. So right here, I'm going to put a $sign, then document inside bracket actually. So after doing this, we'll say dot on submit, open bracket, submit, then comma, hashtag post form. So what this is doing is on submit of post form, this post form is the ID of the form we have above. So let's give it a function. So once the user clicks on submit, we want this to happen. So right here, the first thing we need to do is to say e.prevent default. Now what this prevent default is going to do is that it's going to stop the page from refreshing or reloading or taking it to another page. So this e.prevent default is going to stop the page from reloading. So after doing this, we can now use our Ajax. We'll say $sign.ajax. Then let's say the type is also method. So let's say post. Why isn't a post method? URL. So let's leave the URL blank for now because we've not created any URL in which we are taking all this data to, or the URL that is going to be creating or submitting the data. Let's leave it blank. Then the data, let's give it curly braces. So let's say name should be we'll say $sign. We're gonna open a bracket. We'll say hashtag name dot value. So this is how this should look like. Then we're gonna put a comma and Ctrl C VV. Then right here should be email, and then right here also email, and then for the last one bio, and then this should be bio. So this is basically getting everything in which right here using this name field. And another thing we need to pass, since we're using a post form, we also need to send this CSRF token. So for us to do that, it's a bit different. So for this, we'll say CSRF middleware token, like this, column $, then input, square brackets, name should be equals to, let's close that square bracket and say CSRF middleware token. So it should be like this, and after this we should have this here. Then right here we should say dot val, which means value, and we can say comma. So after it we should have this right here. So let's give it a comma, and then let's give it a success function to say unsuck. That means if the data was taken to another page and created successfully. Say function, let's leave it blank like this. Yes, so this is good. Now the next thing we need to do is to know where we're sending this data to. That means this URL. So first of all, let me put this, since we're dealing with JavaScript. Okay, so that's nice. So let's go create the views.py, the URLs. So yeah, let's create a new URL and name it create. This is to create a new object in our models database. So we save this. Right here also, new one, create request. So it's right here now that we're going to create those. First of all, let's import from .models, import profile. So after doing that, right here we're going to collect those data in which we passed in here, and those data I mean are all these: the name, email, and bio. So now that we've created this URL create, we're going to come back to the index.html and update that right here. So we'll say something like /create. So this is good. So now what we need to do is to come to this views.py function and then collect all those data and then create it in this profile model. So for us to do this, we're going to say if request.method is post. So if request.method is post, say URL equals to request.post name. So this should be name. So this is basically collecting this name field and then storing it in a variable called name. So let's give it 2 more: email, and then bio, and then bio. So that should be it. So now that we have this, what we should do now, let's say new underscore profile should be equals to profile open bracket. Then we are going to send all this data in which we collected into our database. So say name equals to name, comma email equals to email, comma bio equals to bio. So what this means is that this name from this profile model. So if I come to models.py, this name, this email, and this bio, we are just giving them these fields in which we collected from the form. So name, email, bio. So after passing that, we just want to save it. So we can say new profile.save. So now that we've saved it, we can like return a response. For us to do that, say from Django.http import http response. Let's just come here and correct this. So right here, what we're gonna do now is to say return http response. Let's just return what can we return? Okay, so if this is after this is saved, let me give it a new variable. Let me say sources, and then let me say user this name, leave a space here, plus this created successfully. So something like this. Yes, so we're passing this variable into back to index.html. so that means once a user is saved, it should say user, then the name. If the person's name is John, it should say user John created successfully. Then we're now passing that variable into our front end, so we can also access the variable right here. So we can do something like we can test it now actually. So first of all, let's refresh this. So yeah, let's say John, and the email, let's say john@gmail.com, and the bio, let's say I am John, me, I am cool. So now once we click on, before we click on submit, I recommend that anytime you are dealing with Ajax, always open your inspect element and switch to network. So now once we click on submit, we should see something here. We click on it, we see that it says yes, it took those data to /create with a method of post, and this is what we want to be particular about, 200 OK. So if you see something like red or an error looking sign, that means you have an error. But when you see status code 200 OK, that means yes, it has been created successfully. So now let's come back here and hit enter. You can see it created a new database, which is very cool. john@gmail.com, I am John, I am cool. So as you can see, we created this without refreshing this page. We can also do the same thing again using another values. You can do something like Chris, then Chris, then Chris, I am Chris, I am 20. So now once we click on submit, as you see, it didn't refresh, the page didn't refresh here, but right here in the Ajax it also says okay. So once we come here and refresh, you can see that it automatically created another one. So it's very cool. That's the power of Ajax. You don't need to refresh page before you can create or submit a form. It's very good. And then one more thing we need to do is to send it a response. So once a user has created successfully, we want to maybe write something here and say user created successfully, or maybe an alert, a JavaScript alert. Let's just do something. So for us to do this, let's first of all come here. After this create form, let's give it an h2 that is blank. Then we can come down here, right here in this function, we can say data, and then in the data we can give it let's say alert. No, we don't want to give it an alert. We want to change what is in this h2 right here. As you can see, we did a blank tag. So the reason why I made it blank is because we don't want anything to be there for now, but when a user submits a data, we now want something to be like user then the name of the user, John, created successfully, something like that. So for us to do this, we can just scroll down. We're using this function, we got the data. This data means this response. Remember, we returned an HTTP response, which is this success variable. So this data is basically this success variable. That's just the default name. So right here we aren't using an alert. What we just want to use right here is $sign. Then we're gonna say the h2 element dot html. Then I'm going to open bracket, and then we're just going to give it the data. So I think this is what we need, and then don't forget to put the semicolon. So let's save it, and then let's go test it out. Once we refresh, now let's give it another name like Chandler. So let's say Chandler at gmail.com, and then bio Chandler here. Love. Now once we click on submit, you see here that it says user Chandler created successfully. Now this is very good. Now once we come here and refresh, also user Chandler is created successfully. Now that is what it is about. Now that is how to use Django and Ajax to submit a form. That is how to use Ajax to submit a form in Django actually. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you learned something in this video. If you did, please don't forget to smash the like button, and please subscribe and turn on the bell notification button so you get notified when I drop new videos. Having that said, thank you for watching, and bye for now.